Dear students, we are now going to study two important class of sets called open sets and closed sets, which are very important to mathematical analysis and also very important when you study mathematical economics or economic theory. The usual trend in books is to first study open set and talk about the closed set as a set whose complement is an open set. But we will not do that, rather we will follow the path which Corner has taken of looking from a more sequential point of view towards the notion of a closed set. So first we will study closed set and then go over to open sets. So let us first study two sets. So one is called the closed ball, the first one, BXR over line, which is called the closed ball centered at X and with radius R. So it consists of all y's for which the distance of y from X is less than a fixed number R. So this is actually, if you look at the two-dimensional thing, when n is 2, it is the disk, closed disk. A circle you take of radius R and then shade all the part with which is inside that circular disk. So it is the circular boundary as well as the disk. While BXR, where you don't have the overline, it is called the open ball. We will soon prove that one of them is the closed set, the first one is the closed set and the second one is the open set, which or rather there is in the exercise possibly for you to prove. So this is called open ball centered at X of radius R, which means if you look at again the disk, so I draw a circle of radius R and I shade everything inside the circular zone. Now what I do is, now the BXR, the second set, is consisting of all elements but not consisting of the boundary. I don't consider the circular boundary. So that is what is called the open ball, and the previous one is called the closed ball. So these are actually closed sets and open sets. So we will first study, we will reverse the standard way analysis is done in most courses. We will first talk about closed sets and then go to open sets. So what is a closed set? A set is called closed if I take any sequence xk in that set which converges to x, then x must also be in S. So all possible limit points, so if you have a sequence and it converges to some L or X in this case, we call that X the limit point of the sequence. See, if all possible limit points are inside the set, we call it a closed set. That the limit cannot even escape. For example, let me consider the set, okay, 1 open interval 0 1, and I have the sequence half, and in that thing I consider a sequence half, 1/4, half, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 1/6 and so on. So this sequence converges to 0, but 0 is not belonging to the open interval 0, 1. So this limit point 0 is not in the set, so that open interval 0, 1 cannot be a closed set. Okay. So it's a kind of thing is that limit points can go and sit in the boundary of the set. The idea is that a closed set is some set which also includes this boundary. So you have to have the garden as well as the boundary. So you cannot leave out the boundary. So if you have a boundary, then if you take steps towards the boundary, you go and end at the boundary. You cannot just cross it. So, but if you just consider your garden to be the one without the boundary, then your final destination would go and hit the wall, and it'll go outside your chosen zone, just as we did with the 0, 1 interval. So it's kind of, the boundary is kind of wall which stops these limit points to move out of the set. So as I've written here, a more erudite way to speak about this is to say that a closed set contains all its limit points. So there's a problem for you that you have to show that this is a closed set. So you have to argue, you take a sequence xk is in B XR over line, and say that xk goes to x star. Then what you will have? Norm xk minus x star would be less than epsilon. So then what would happen? You don't know anything about continuous functions. How would you then prove it? That I leave it to you. That thing, I leave the whole thing to you. And that's what's very important. That is what is very important. That you have to show that x star minus x, if xk goes to x star, then x star minus x is also strictly less than or equal to epsilon. So what you do? You take a sequence xk which converges to some x star. Each xk is element of the bxr over line. So norm of xk minus x is less than epsilon. Less than r. Now you have to prove that norm of x star minus x is also less than equal to r. That's what you really have to prove. Okay, so you can try it out using the definition of a limit. We will speak about these things when we are going to discuss our assignments on the 25th. Till then, just take them as a problem. So how can we give an example of a closed set which economists use? The closed set that an economist use, which can be very easily understood, is the notion of a budget set. So budget set is something, suppose I am a consumer, just think of, I am thinking of myself, and I know that my monthly income is fixed at K, it doesn't go above it. And now I want to go to the market and buy something, some commodities. So I want to choose a commodity bundle because I need some things for my daily, monthly usage. So I know the individual prices of the commodities, price per unit quantity. So the price vector P is consisting of n entries, P1, P2, Pn, where P1 is the unit price of the first quantity and Pn is the unit price of the nth quantity, and all of them is strictly greater than 0. We don't take the price Pi equal to 0 because we are expecting that nobody will give us anything free. That's quite a rational assumption. Now, within my income, what should be the commodity vectors that I can buy? So if I go and buy a commodity vector x, then the inner product between P and x, as we have seen, is the total budget, total money I spend on buying x. That cannot exceed K, that cannot exceed my total monthly budget, then that will be stupidity. So which means the budget set will consist of all x in Rn such that the inner product Px would be less than K. Now this set depends on the price vector P. So if the price vector P changes, my set also changes. We will learn later on that this is something called a budget correspondence. So if you put a P, you not get only, so as a function, if you look at the set B as a function of P, the price vectors, then it carries one given price vector to not a single commodity vector but to many commodity vector or a commodity bundle. So now you must ask, what about this income K? That might also change. You might get a better income, and so it should also depend on K. Absolutely correct. My budget set should also depend on K. But for the moment, I'm assuming that I have a fixed income which doesn't change, and then I'm keeping it to this simple level. That okay, this is my budget set. I know the price can change, right? Sometimes these sets are called parametric sets in the sense that it depends on a parameter P. Now I want to prove that this set is closed. Proving that this set is closed is very simple. Actually, you have to talk about the continuity of this function, the function px. For every fixed p, it is actually a linear function in x. But we have not studied linear function, not studied continuity yet. So we are not going to speak about all those things. But now we will see how beautifully, by applying the definition that what we have just learned, we can actually prove its closeness by applying Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, which we have also learned. So we will not do anything which we have not learned earlier. In some proofs later on, we have to use tools which we learn later on, but we have to borrow them in order to give the proof. But in general, we will try to avoid such kind of things. So we are proving that the budget set is closed. So in order to prove that a budget set is closed, we will take a sequence xn from the budget set BP, and we will assume that it converges to some x star. Now what does Cauchy-Schwarz inequality say? That norm P of xn minus x star, the modulus of, the inner product of P with xn minus x star and the modulus of that, the absolute value of that, is less than equal to norm P into norm xn minus x star, which when you open it up, it means this. So mod of x less than equal to a means x is lying between a and minus a. So that's what you get. As xn goes to x star, we know that norm of xn minus x star goes to 0 naturally. So both sides of this inequality goes to 0. So by the sandwiching idea in limits that you have learned in your high school, the limit of P of xn minus x star is equal to 0. So let's see. So you might ask, how does it prove that x star is also in C? Let us see. So what do I get from here? So if I go by the rule of the inner product, then this is nothing but inner product of P with xn minus inner product of P with x. So this implies that P of xn is equal to P of x star. Since P of xn, there should be a comma here, I am sorry for that. So since P xn is less than equal to k for all n, we can conclude that this limit P of xn is less than equal to k. Obviously, if everything is less than k, then and if the limit exists, it has to be less than equal to k. The limit of course exists in both these cases. So now what does it show? What is this limit? Limit is that it shows limit of Pxn is Px star. You might ask me, how do you know the limit of this will exist? Limit of this will exist because I can show that I can make this difference, the modulus of this, as less as I want. So that follows from that will follow from our epsilon n naught definition of the limit. So now what happens? What is limit of Pxn? It's Px star. So I'll put, so from here I'll get Px star less than equal to k. What do you mean by Px star less than equal to k? Which shows that x star might be a feasible commodity bundle. This is something which I can buy. So x star is in BP and hence BP is a closed set. So we stop our discussion here, and then in our next talk we'll talk about open sets. Thank you very much.